Assalamualaikum. My name is Siti Nurbalkis binti Yusaini and my student ID is 2019230188.
Hi, Assalamualaikum. My name is Nur Nabihah Iliana binti Saleh and my metric number is 2019-294-536. We are going to present our study entitled The Influence of Gender in the Efficiency of Task Completion in the Working Environment at SMK Seri Gading, Batu, Pahat, Johor.
For the research background, employment is the main source of household income and can be considered as productive participation in economy and society of the country. Nowadays, employers' dependence on workers is increasing according to the market demand. However, it seems that male workers are more needed than female workers. Workplace discrimination contributes to the woman's worse socio-economic status. A high proportion of employees are affected by discriminatory concerns and difficulties based on gender. This study is important for the organizations that discriminate against the female workers owing to a lack of gender knowledge and orientation.
Next is the problem statement. The first problem statement is a gender stereotype. Men are generally perceived as aggressive, domineering, independent, and forceful, according to Hillman, whereas women are regarded as kind, helpful, and caring for others. Gender stereotype can limit a woman's ability to succeed and grow in the workplace, when women may have a difficult time rising through the rank of a company. Besides, according to Hillman, it is because top management and executive roles are virtually always thought to need people with the stereotypically masculine characteristic. Therefore, workplace gender stereotype can lead to discriminatory conduct and inequality for women.
There are three research objectives, which are: the first one is to examine and compare relationship between the efficiency of task completion and the problem faced by men or women in the working environment. Second is to examine and compare relationship between the efficiency of task completion and the type of job scope that efficient for men or women. And the third is to examine and compare relationship between the efficiency of task completion and what gender that can do multitask. For the research questions, this study aims to answer three research questions about the perception on gender that influence the work efficiency in the working environment at SMK Seri Gading. The questions are: the first one is, what is the problem faced by men or women in the working environment? Second is, what is the type of job that efficient for women or men? And the third is, who can do the multitasking work between men or women?
Now we will move on to conceptual framework. As we can see, there are three independent variables, which are the problem faced by men and women, the type of job scope that efficient for men and women, and men or women can multitask more. The dependent variable is the efficiency of task completion. Based on this figure, the dependent variable is correlation with the independent variable. In this figure, we can see the independent variable and hypothesis. The hypothesis can be divided into two categories, which are null hypothesis and alternative hypothesis. There are null and alternative hypothesis for the problem faced by men or women, type of job scope, and the woman or man can multitask more.
For the research method, firstly, we look into the research design. We choose a cross-sectional design by using quantitative method as it is cheap, easy and readily accessible. For the unit analysis, we focuses on the individual or full-time base of teachers at SMK Seri Gading. And for the sample size, we look into 81 respondents among the full-time based teachers at SMK Seri Gading. For sampling technique, we choose non-probability sampling, which is convenience sampling. And for the data measurement, we use the nominal, ordinal, and interval measurement. Not only that, we also use 5-point Likert scale. For the data collection, there are 6 sections that have been listed, which are Section A, Demographic Profile, Section B, Personality Traits, Section C, Capability, Section D, Work Environment, Section E, Knowledge, and Section F, Employee Attitudes. And for the data analysis, we use descriptive analysis and person correlation.
Now we are going to present the first finding, which is demographic profile. Firstly, for the gender, the majority of our respondent is male with the frequency of 41 and 50.6%. Next is the age. The majority of our respondents are between 23 to 30 years old with the frequency of 34 and 42.0%. Next is the race. Our majority of our respondents are Malay with the 76 frequency and 93.8%. Next is marital status. The majority of our respondents are single with the frequency of 43 and 53.1%. For the service group, most of our respondents are from management and professional group with the frequency of 52 and 64.2%. And lastly is working experience. Majority of our respondents are working less than 5 years with the frequency of 40 and 49.4%.
For the main findings of Objective 1, which is to examine and compare relationship between the efficiency of task completion and the problem faced by men or women in the working environment, it shows that there is a positive relationship between the problem faced by men or women in the working environment and the efficiency of task completion, as R is equal to 0.699 and P is below 0.05.
The second objective is to examine and compare the relationship between the efficiency of task completion and the type of job scope that efficient for men or women. We use the person correlation, and the result is the R value is 0.780 and the P value is 0.000. And for the hypothesis, the alternative hypothesis is accepted and reject null hypothesis.
For the third main findings of Objective 3, which is to examine and compare relationship between the efficiency of task completion and what gender can multitask more, it shows that there is no relationship between the what gender can multitask more and the efficiency of task completion, as the R is equal to 0.208 and P is equal to 0.062, which is P is greater than 0.05. Therefore, for H1 and H2 are accepted Meanwhile, for H3 is rejected.
Now we move on to research implication. Firstly, government roles introduce gender stereotype and discrimination. The government need to play crucial roles in reducing gender stereotype and discrimination at the workplace because both of the problem will affect the efficiency of task completion in the organization. The role of the government is by educate the people by giving talk and counseling for the worker who are facing the situation. The government also need to look at and take an action toward the report about gender stereotype, sexual harassment, inequality that faced by women. Secondly, are the roles of the organization to provide the right job scope for men and women. Each organization need to create and establish job description for the employee in the organization and keep the job description up to date. It is because the right job scope will affect the efficiency of task completion. Employers can select candidates more objectively based on their potential success on the job rather than on personality attributes when the necessary qualification and responsibility for the position are clearly outlined in the job description. Thirdly, provide suitable training and awareness about gender inequality in the organization. The training was important tools and give a huge impact towards the whole organization if the organization apply the right working culture. The objective of the training is to establish gender awareness and in the daily life of the employee. The training also can increase understanding for the staff about gender inequality at the workplace. And lastly is by provide equal opportunities for both gender, which is men or women.
The first limitation is the sample size. The sample size of this study is limited to 50 teachers from SMK Seri Gading. The future research can increase the number of sample size at least 10% from the number of population. It is because the highest of the sample size, the lower the sampling error and vice versa. The next limitation is the formulation of research objective. The formulation of research objective in this study is too wide and there is no specific objective that focus on each gender. The third limitation is the location of the research. In this study, the location is at school and involve the sector of education and involve both gender, which is male and female. Therefore, the future research can make the research at different sectors such as sector engineering, as it can involve many male workers compared to women.
In conclusion, the study revealed two important findings. First, the majority of the respondents will agree with the problem faced by men and women have a positive relationship with the efficiency of task completion. And secondly, majority of the respondents agree that the type of job scope is having a positive relationship with the efficiency of task completion.